Return to the source. Return to a world of two realities, everyday life and what lies behind it. To truly know himself, Neo must follow the White Rabbit once again into the Matrix. Of course, Neo already knows what he has to do. What he doesn't know is that the Matrix is more dangerous than ever. Déjà vu. Special features. The Matrix transformed action and cinema, and filmmakers have changed the game yet again. Go beyond the code to find out how the cast and crew created the most jaw-dropping, heart-pounding scenes in The Matrix Resurrections, as they take action to the next level. The Matrix Resurrections stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Jessica Henwick, Jonathan Groff, Neil Patrick Harris, Priyanka Chopra Jones, and Jada Pinkett Smith. It was written by Lana Wachowski, David Mitchell, Alexander Hannon, and directed by Lana Wachowski. It was released on Blu-ray March 8th, 2022, and runs 148 minutes. Before watching this movie made me feel something I hadn't felt in a long time. Genuine excitement to see a movie. I must admit I wasn't excited enough to go see it in the theater, but when I picked it up on video, I was anxious to get right into it. Now that my initial thoughts have faded, after watching it twice, and I've had a few days to digest what I saw, I realize that this movie is a f***ing joke. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big Matrix fan. Hell, who isn't? I never thought I'd be saying that about a Matrix film. Aside from some muddled fight scenes and shaky camera work, it's made competently enough. The explanation of the story about why all of this is happening again is fine enough, and moves at a good pace for a movie pushing 2.5 hours. That being said, I found some of the content to be questionable that just rubbed me wrong. More about that later. So Neo is trapped again by the Matrix. It's using the events of the first 3 movies to keep him in line. As in this version of the Matrix is an intellectual property created by Thomas Anderson. Or to put it another way, the Matrix is making him think the Matrix is a fictional story he created. The trilogy is constantly being referenced, and we get very short flashback clips to go along with them. This movie is completely and cleverly self-aware, and at the same time a rehash and continuation of the story. Again, Thomas Anderson feels something is wrong, and is toying around with remnants of the previous Matrix's code. His current position in this film gives him access to some of the old code. Through that old code, a new group searching for Neo was able to find him, and alternate versions of events from the first movie happening in this old code fabricates a new Morpheus. Since the peace between Zion and the machines, we see friendly interactions and even some partnerships between the two. It's also nice to see some returning characters. My first impression was it was really fun to return to this world. which soon changed to the whole thing feeling so weird and surreal. From, wow, I can't believe I'm watching another Matrix film, and at the same time, why? To eventually having conflicting thoughts about if this movie should ever have been made. After Neo was freed, they help him to try and save Trinity as well. I have to admit, I got goosebumps when they met, and it's nice to see another end to this love story that isn't so tragic. The new crew I could not remember the names of. Even the two most memorable ones I couldn't remember until the second viewing. They're all completely forgettable. If they're thinking about rebooting the series with this lot, good luck to them. Most of the movie, while fast-paced, 1 hour and 30 minutes passed, and nothing in the story felt significant or had any sense of danger or urgency. Most of the film exuded that lack of danger, urgency, and suspense, even when they were supposed to be in danger. A lot of the green hue of the Matrix is gone in favor of a more real-world look, which unfortunately takes away from the whole Matrix feel, making it look like a movie that could be from any other franchise. The system has a new way of attacking hackers and anomalies. Instead of loading one agent at a time to address a problem, the Matrix now uses people as bots and creates what are called swarms, possessing entire groups of people, essentially turning them into attack zombies. The music is nothing special at all. I would say serviceable at the very least, boring at best, and nothing compared to Don Davis's efforts. Even though Don Davis isn't the composer for The Matrix Resurrections, it was great to see and hear they at least started it with the familiar theme. There were a couple instances where the surround sound design really popped. Very rarely do I hear such a significant use of the rear speakers. I was wondering why most of the movements and action look so videotape-like, and learned they filmed most of it with digital cameras with something called global shutter sensors, which help with shooting fast motion, gunfire, and explosions, keeping the image as hard as possible and as high definition as possible. As always, the Wachowskis are known to use and come up with new revolutionary filming techniques, and this movie is no exception. Mentioned earlier was questionable content. Now the Wachowskis think that they're women. Fun fact, and I know facts are hard to grasp in this wonderful year of 2022, but guess what? They were born male and will never be women. Now they think they're women. It's probably why this movie is full of woke nonsense. This is a Matrix with no class. This is a Matrix for woke-ass teenagers, and it sounds like it was written by one too. There's a semblance of something familiar here, but that's just to lure in the existing fan base. If this is your first experience with The Matrix, do yourself a favor and watch the first 3, plus the Animatrix while you're at it. Thomas Anderson / Neo is portrayed as weak, batshit bonkers, and the butt of most of the jokes and basically just gets pushed around for the majority of the film. Morpheus is more like a comedy relief sidekick. The Oracle, a beacon of wisdom, though part of a system of control, has been completely purged from the Matrix, and Sati is boiled down to someone who's just out for revenge. That's fine, they're characters, they can do whatever they want with them, but there's a bigger problem here. All I want to do is review films on their entertainment value and competency of production alone, but this shit is too much to ignore. Let me start with something I heard about the first Matrix film. I heard there's a 9/11 reference in there on one of the props. Keep in mind, it happened in 2001, and The Matrix came out in 1999. When Smith is interrogating Thomas Anderson, he has his passport. His f***ing passport there, and the expiry date reads September 11th, 2001. Now before you say, that's not real, the image was doctored, etc., that's an image from the movie. That's a picture of my TV. And in The Matrix Reloaded, when Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus are in the elevator on their way to meet the Merovingian, Neo says this about the building.
Well, it looks like every floor is wired with explosives.
And in The Matrix Resurrections, the Matrix is making people jump out of their windows to try and hit Neo and Trinity, who are making their way to the top of this tower familiarly looking like two towers. They just can't stop rubbing our faces in it. Among some other degrading things the bad guy says about everyone hooked up to the Matrix. But guess who it sounds like he's talking about? It's just blatant. Obviously blatant. Sure, you could say all of this is a coincidence. I don't believe it is. These Hollywood fuckers are sick. Enough has been exposed to know that these Hollywood fuckers are sick. For all the sentiments and uplifting notions of free will, choice, and freeing your mind, it's ironic only the people who are actually awake will see this shit for what it is. Well, that's it. As a Matrix movie, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 10. As a film in general, reviewed on its entertainment value and competency of production, I'll give it a 5. And I'll be reviewing the rest of the Matrix films sooner or later, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and throwing me a comment. All that good stuff. And with that, bye for now. Take care, peace out, and cut.